Hey, so I want to tell you a little story and take you on a little supplier visit with me and give you the insights to what I'm thinking when I pull up and get there. So, hi, I'm Tisa. I've spent the last 20 years or so in corporate procurement, specifically working with co manufacturers to make our products for us. So, I have onboarded, vetted hundreds of suppliers over the years. And so I've been in and out of tons of manufacturing facilities. And so I'm going to give you the insights as to what that corporate team is going to say when they're walking out the door. A couple years ago, I had a supplier that I was going to vet, and we did everything up front. I got a quote from them. Their costing looked really good. We had several conversations. I knew that they were new, that they had been in a different area of manufacturing and they were switching over to do the type of products that I needed them to do. So I understood that they were green and I was okay with that. They didn't know certain things, but that again, it's okay. You can learn. That's not a deal breaker. So they explained what they could and couldn't do. They told me what their capacity was and that they could support what I was looking to do. Now, let me tell you, from my perspective, when I'm selling in a project to those co-mans, I give you the dirty. Like I oversell it. So I'm going to make you understand what those payment terms are going to be. I'm going to tell you I need 90 days. I will negotiate down to 60, but I won't go less than 60, but I'm opening at 90. I'm going to need you to be full turnkey. I'm going to need you to go out and get and secure everything that's needed for my production. So that's a lot. And I make sure to tell everybody up front, these are the expectations, right? So you understand what are those payment terms going into it? What is that expected cash outlay up front, right? Being turnkey, how much are the bill of materials? How much am I going to have to spend? Plus, then I have to pay for labor, then deliver, then I get paid, right? That's a lot to take on. So this supplier knew all of these details. I was very transparent and very clear on that. So in all of our conversations, the one thing that kept coming back up to me was his pricing. His pricing was good enough to get me and pique my interest. But here's the thing. It was almost too good of pricing for being a contract manufacturer. So his pricing was on par with my internal manufacturing. And at the time I got his quote back, I had already gotten quotes back from 4 other contract manufacturers. So I had a pretty good idea on the conversion rates that I should be looking at. And it just wasn't there. And so as I continued to talk to him, I did get him to go into open book costing. And so he shared his costing with me. I can't find anything, right? The formulary is in line with where it should be. The bottle is what it should be. Like all of these things are exactly where they should be. And then even when he's showing me a conversion rate, I'm like, okay, something. He's bearing, he's not accounting for something. I don't know what is happening here. So I present this up to my manager and I'm like, hey, like there's something here. Cause if this costing is real, like I need to lean in on this and I need to vet this guy, right? But there's some yellow flags. There's something. This is my gut telling me there's something here and I just don't know what it is. So here it is. Boss and I decide, all right, we're going down there. So I get on a plane, get down there, and boss and I meet up. We're in the rental car and driving over to the facility. Now, mind you, I know what I am expecting. I know what he's told me he could support my business. I know what that means. I know how many pallet positions my stuff's going to take. I know you need to be able to ship truckloads, receive truckloads. Like, there's just certain things that I need to have. So we're driving down this industrial park. And I'm like, okay, this area makes sense, right? And then we start getting out of the industrial park and into the business section. And I'm looking at my GPS going, this can't be right. My boss and I are talking to each other going, is this the address? Like, this can't be the address. We should have been 2 blocks back where all the warehouses are. This is a small little office. So look at the glass at the door and no, this is where we're supposed to be. So right off the bat, both of our spidey senses are up. This is red flag. But maybe not. Business office and production facility somewhere else? Absolutely. Okay, so that's what we're going with, right? Okay, so we go in, we greet everybody, and it was a Friday morning, not afternoon. In fact, my boss's flight was leaving at noon that day. So we got there at 8:30 in the morning, 9 a.m. And the owner, the 2 owners are who met us, which is, yes, I want to meet the owner. That's who I'm going in there to meet. That's who I've been discussing things via email and on the phone, right? This has been my point of contact, the owner, which is not uncommon given corporate what I do, right? When I'm going in and finding these people, I want to talk to the owner because they're the ones who are going to make the decision and be able to negotiate with me. Nobody else. The admin wasn't there. All the cubicles were empty. So we got talking and I asked, I'm like, hey, are you guys doing 4 days a week? Thinking, oh, it's a 4-day a week. No, we're just not having staff in today. We just took today. And so for me, I'm going, you knew I was coming, and today is the day you give production off? When normally you're in production? I came down here knowing you were going to be in production. You knew I was coming. You knew I was coming to see the facilities. So, okay, cool, you guys, whatever you needed, you gave your staff the day off. Good for the staff. I'm not going to be able to see your operations. Okay, we'll go with it. So we went into the conference room and they gave us their little bit of backstory, which I knew, again, that they were new to this type of manufacturing, but that they had been in other manufacturing prior. And they went through their story and their 5-6 year history in this other sector and how they were just switching over to do the type of manufacturing I was looking for. Now, remember, my boss does have a flight, so we were on a time crunch. We knew that going in, so we asked, do a walk and talk. So we walk out, and this is when we learn, yes, manufacturing is in the business office buildings. So I needed true manufacturing facility. I needed you to take my bill of material, my formula, and blend it. I needed you to put my formula into a bottle, put a cap on it, put it in a box, put a label on it, and ship it. That was part of the understanding. So we go into the production facilities. This is where my professionalism stepped in because all I wanted to do was look at them and say, "Are you fucking kidding me? I flew down here for this?" So we walk in to this room that is ceilings are 12 foot high, so I guess decent size. There's a holding tank that, I don't know, 2,500 gallons maybe. I mean, it was a prototype tank. For anybody who does liquid type manufacturing, it was a prototype size tank. And maybe storage space for 10 pallet positions. Maybe. No dock doors, no door in general. So it was a man door. So if they were going to get a delivery, it needed to fit through a man door. They did have a roll up. They had a roll up door. So yeah, yes, they could get a pallet in. They had a roll up to be able to get pallets in, but they couldn't back in a dock door. So there was no way that they were shipping and receiving truckloads. It's at this point that they finally divulged, because they can't hide it anymore, right? Oh, yeah, no, we're not actually making it. We have this whole scheme going on. And to this day, I don't understand how they were able to make any kind of quote to me ever work, because they were subcontracting half of the work. And then they weren't billing it enough to me. Needless to say, that is some insight into how a supplier visit can go really, really bad. But they did everything right up front. They got me my quote on time. They were responsive. They answered my questions. Now, that's where I knew enough to know there was something not quite right, because they were newer. They didn't quite have some of the answers for me. However, when I would ask a question and they didn't have the answer, they did get back to me with an answer. So, good salesmanship. Oh, I don't have that. Let me follow up with my quality manager and I'll get back to you with that information. That's a very valid answer. And it's something I'm going to buy. All of that is to tell you, what does a procurement person see when they walk into your manufacturing facility? I have really great stories of some facilities I have walked in and I have fell in love from the moment I went in the parking lot. Those are stories for another time. So until then, tell me, what do you want to know that I'm looking for when I come to do a supplier visit? How can I help you win my business? Don't be that guy that I'm going to fly down to, and my boss and I are doing everything in our power to get the hell out of there. Oh my God, we left. We got in the car and we just started laughing. We didn't even know what to say to each other. And it was, but lessons learned, right? I trusted my gut. I knew something wasn't quite right. And the only way I was going to figure that out was give me an hour on site. Give me an hour and I will know if I'm doing business with you or not. So, you want to give me an hour and I'll tell you if you can do business with corporate? Drop me a line in the comments. Till next time, bye.